live in a more like new building area, and a lot of families have started building there, so it's basically a pure single family home area that's quite safe. It's up from like big roads, off from big roads, so it's more like private and calm. And my parents specifically live at the end of this area, and we live in a cul-de-sac, I think it's a cul-de-sac, that's how you say it. So we live on a small street that goes off from like a bigger street, but it's still like residential. You cannot go over like walk speed. So in this cul-de-sac there's 4 houses. So there's 2 on one side, and 2 on the other side. And the street is as well a private street, which means the street does not belong to the city, but rather it belongs to the 4 houses, which doesn't usually make a difference, but it also means that anyone coming into the street is basically entering property instead of, still being on the street. A couple years back, I would say in 2015, we had quite a lot of attempted break-ins in our area, as they're all new home builds for families. It is, not the poorest area to live in, which also other people know. So we had a couple attempted break-ins, which led most people to get dogs. Honestly though, I think our dog rate in the area, in like the 4 streets that belong to our area, it's not that big, probably raised by like 90%. So we've got a lot of dogs now, quite a lot of dogs now. And my dad, who works in IT security, he installed cameras everywhere on our property. I think you can do a whole 360 view around our house, and even from the inside looking out. It's a pretty good setup, but it hasn't been stopping people from coming over. And those moving lights that turn on if you try and sneak around in the dark. And yeah, we're pretty well set up. We also have a pretty attack-friendly cat, so you don't have to beware of the dog, you have to beware of the cat. Long story short, we have a is a man standing there in a suit. So the guy standing there is wearing a full suit. And I think, because we did some trial tests when I was home, I think the second you access the live feed on the video, you can talk back to them, which he didn't. But if you're standing on the door, you can hear like a slight leg pop sound, and then it starts to, to buzz slightly. So you can kind of tell there's been a connection made, because the intercom starts up, so you can talk. So you can hear that. So I think you're being like watched. There might even be a light turning on. So he starts talking to my brother, and it's like, hey, like, open the door. I'm trying to collect donations for the Juanitas. They are, I believe, like a medical help thing. I might be wrong. I should have looked up the definition for them, but I think they're technically something like Red Cross or something. So, no one would actually ring your doorbell 20 minutes before 12 at midnight. So, my brother just didn't say anything, and the guy ended up leaving. But it was a super scary experience for my brother. And my parents were obviously quite worried about it, because he wanted my brother to open the door, which thank God he didn't, because you just don't know what would have happened. But there are currently some strange things going on in our area. So I'm pretty sure it wouldn't have just been left at that if he would have actually opened the door. So luckily he didn't. He was talking over his headset to the neighbour's son. It's quite funny because as like it was a specific time when everyone built those houses, we are all in the general same age range, just maybe like a year or so off. So all the four houses back there have an older kid who is old as I am, and if our house is like here, there's another house here, and then over the street here and here. But the two gardens and the end are like attached. It's like a cul-de-sac going into the last two houses. So the people over here have a younger son and a younger daughter, older son and a younger daughter, and I'm really good friends with the older son. He's my age, and then the people next to them have a dog. That's my brother's friend and a girl who's my age. I went to school with her, but we're not quite close. And then the family living right next to us, she's a single kid, but I'm really good friends with her. She's one of my best friends, which is super funny because her birthday is the day before mine. She is a year older though, but we basically share a birthday, and it used to be quite fun growing up. I've decided to draw a small sketch of how it looks, just for better visualization. Alrighty guys, so I drew a little picture, and this is it. So just for visualization, you come into the street here. This is where I live, and this is bordering my house to the garden of who's living underneath me, which is the guy that's my age. Here is my brother's friend living, and up here is my girlfriend living. So let's connect, and this is supposed to be that street. I said, my brother's friend, they have a dog, and his mom is quite observant of her surroundings. So she always, has a great overview of what's going on. And she was woken up at night by the dog barking really, really, really loudly and basically giving alarm. So she looked out the window and sees someone running from this lot. So she's here, so she sees into this lot, but this is like right in front of her house. So she like 4 a.m. in the morning sees someone leg it out of this lot, and he be gone. There sadly wasn't anything on our security cameras because it doesn't oversee the neighbour's lot, but they haven't been on our lot, which I mean, I think it's good, but they still like walking around like 10 meters away from it, which is quite scary. We don't know what's been going on. People have been trying to break in and get into houses, spying out the houses, but there's another like smaller incidents that occurred while I've been there. My friend that lives right next to me ordered something. I don't know what she ordered, it isn't relevant to the story, but they weren't there when the delivery person came to deliver it, and they have their shed. They have their shed marked as a drop-off location, so the delivery people are allowed to go in there and drop it off. Their shed is pretty visible if you're standing in front of the door. It's in their yard, but the delivery person decided to do a complete detour and walked through the entire garden, doing a loop around the house. He must have passed the shed, and then he basically did an entire loop around the house and then found the back door to the garage, went into the garage. He didn't drop the parcel off on the terrace or something, and dropped the parcel off in the middle of their garage until they found it in the garage. So they were quite surprised about this. They don't always have the back door to the garage open. It was a bit of an accident, I believe. They usually have it locked. We don't know why I was unlocked that day. But about 3 or 4 days ago, they go back into the garage where they actually store equipment standing in the garage. Also new items and stuff, and they were just standing in the garage, and all of a sudden they realize all of that stuff is gone. And obviously information about being on holidays and stuff. So be safe